What's up guys, today I have a quick review of the Nokia N1 for you. So the N1 came out in January of this year, but only in the Chinese and Taiwanese markets, which is really a shame given how great a device it is. The display on the N1 is quite good with extremely accurate color reproduction. It measures in at 7.9 inches and that's an IPS panel with a 4:3 aspect ratio coming into a resolution of 1536 by 2048 and a density of 324 pixels per inch. It's also quite thin and light at 6.9mm thick and 318 grams. Basically iPad mini territory. It has 32GB of storage and it's powered by an Intel Atom processor along with 2GB of RAM. That Atom chipset has an x86 architecture, and all in all that's pretty unusual to see on Android devices. It's certainly fast though, and it runs extremely smoothly. You get a full range of wireless connectivity with Wi-Fi compatibility up to AC bands and Bluetooth version 4. On the wired end of the spectrum, the N1 has a USB Type-C port from which you get the infinitely satisfying ability to not worry about which way you plug in the cable. The N1 has an 8-megapixel rear-facing camera and a 5-megapixel front-facer. The rear camera is really fairly good under optimum lighting conditions, but struggles with color accuracy and finding sharp focus in lower light. The front-facing camera actually tends to be more reliably sharp, which for a tablet is honestly much more important. Don't be the guy standing around using your tablet as a camera. We all have phones that can do a much better job. On the bottom side of the tablet there are two mono speakers. Front-facing stereo speakers will obviously tend to get you a higher quality audio experience, but I was quite impressed with the quality of these. They get every bit as loud as the boom sound speakers on my M8, and really when you're using bottom mounted speakers you'd be hard pressed to notice a huge difference between stereo and mono sound anyway. It's all kept running with a generously sized 5300 mAh battery. The battery life of the N1 is one of the best things about it. It's a device I can charge and then not give a second thought to for days. Charge reporting is also extremely accurate. I don't panic when I see the battery hit single digits like I do with my phone because there's no sudden decline in how long it takes to exhaust a percentage point. The other factor that makes the N1 such a joy to use is the build quality. It's a highly iPad mini-like design, but really, who cares? It's good design, it works. Nokia put every bit as much of care into the construction of the N1 as Apple does for the iPad. At the end of the day, regardless of who copies who, it means that the user gets a nice experience. The buttons, power and volume up and down, all feel really solid and have excellent travel. They're basically like the mechanical keyboards of the button world. The stock software is really the only place where the N1 seriously stumbles. Due to its restrictive market release, it doesn't ship with Google Play services. What that means for you is no Chrome, no Gmail, no YouTube. There are tons of things that use Google Play services, whether they're Google apps or third-party apps. What that means is that you have to either sideload apps that don't require them, or find them if you can through the Nokia App Store or the Amazon App Store. It's not ideal. But there is a solution. People on XDA developers came through as they always do and have a pretty simple root and flash process that will get Google Play services up and running on your N1. Like many rooting processes, it's a bit intimidating for those who are new to it, but as long as you follow directions carefully, you will be up and running with Google Play on your N1 in about half an hour. There are a few apps, Instagram for instance, that aren't compatible with x86 architectures, but for the most part every app that I regularly use works just fine. Before flashing the Google Play Store, the N1 reminded me a bit of my Android tablet experiences back in the Honeycomb days. After the flashing process, it felt every bit like the modern flagship tablet that it is. So the last thing to point out about the N1 is that it is a fantastic value. Retail from China tends to be anywhere from $300 to $400. But if you're willing to buy it off of eBay, you can get some absolutely fantastic deals. They regularly sell on there from anywhere from $140 to $240. I picked mine up for about $170. And for that price, it's just an absolute steal on every level. So that's going to be it for this review, but as always, if you have any questions, just hit me up in the comments down below, and I will do my best to answer them. See you next time.